Hi class, in this video I want to talk to you about the final report document because I think it's just helpful for me to explain what it is. I know there's written instructions, but I want to be able to give you a better sense of just what I expect here. So let's take a look at it. For the final report, you have a draft of the final report due this Friday. You don't need to turn in the entire report. When I say final report draft, if you're able to write it all, to get it all done, that's great. If you can do at least half, that's what I expect this week, is for you to write at least half of this so that I can leave you feedback. But it's in your best interest, actually, I think, to do all of it, because then you'll get feedback on every single thing that you've written. But I need you to do at least half of it for the final report. And what the final report is a rundown of everything that you've done in the class. So it's you taking your work from the class and presenting it in a document. You can kind of imagine that you completed this project for your client, and now you're going to stop working with the client and you want to have something to leave them. So this document should show everything that you've done and sort of explain what it is, so that someone else theoretically could pick up your document and continue working with your client, continue working on the site or working with your content strategy. So the document should have 3 parts: summary, design process, and evaluation. And yes, I want you to label these parts. I want a page that says summary, and then the summary starts. I want a page that says design process, and then the design process starts. I want a page that says evaluation, and then evaluation part starts. For the summary, I want a cover page. This one's going to be a little bit different. You should do a cover page, a table of contents, and then summary, and then executive summary. So executive summary, what is that? I want one page, this is all single spaced, by the way, where you're just going to sort of tell me what this is. What am I looking at? So describe the project, tell me about the client goal, tell me about the content strategy process you undertook. So in one page, single spaced, you should tell me what you did in this class. Explain what you did. What is the content strategy you worked on? Who is your client? That's the executive summary. And then design process. Now for design process, you'll see I have 6 elements listed. I expect 6 headlines with each section underneath. So you can kind of do this how you want. If I were going to do it, I'd probably do a blank page that says, well, not blank, but an almost blank page that says design process. And then on the next page, there would be a big title that said audience research and insights, and it had that. And then there'd be a big title that said persona, and I'd have my persona there. And then there'd be a big title that says content strategy document, and so it has my content strategy document there. So how you're going to build this is you're going to use the work you already did. These are not new things that you're writing. You're not going to do more audience research. You're not going to pull out more insights. You're going to present what you already did. So if you have slides, you can copy and paste from the slides into this document, or you could take a screenshot of your slides and put them in the document. If you have something like the content strategy document that you originally typed up, you can copy that and paste it into this document, and then you can show your mood board. So this design process part, this is all things you've already done. You're just presenting them all in one place. And if you've changed anything, the changes should be reflected here. So if you made a topic map, for example, in your content strategy document, and you didn't use it, but you instead came up with other topics, you should go back and change it. Because what this document should do, this final report, is it should show everything, all the work behind your site. So I should be able to look at your audience research and insights, your persona, your strategy document, which includes your annotated statement. I should be able to look at your mood board, and I should see all of that in your site, in the site that you actually made. So if you did make changes, you need to go back and have those be reflected. So for example, your content strategy document, if you ended up changing your annotated statement, maybe you said you were going to set out to make a community website, but instead you decided to make a website that provides information on products or something like that, go back and change it so that everything in the document appears on your website. It's the final report matches what I see on your website. The only exception is wireframes. You drew wireframes, and many of you did not implement the wireframes exactly, and that's okay. So show your wireframes, and then you can sort of discuss anything that changed. So if your wireframe doesn't look like the site you have now, just write an explanation under the wireframe of why it's different. So what changed and why did you change it? The evaluation portion is going to be new. So design process is mostly things you've already done. Evaluation portion is going to be you evaluating your own website. So what I want you to do is take a screenshot of all the pages on the site. And then each page should include a discussion of how the page meets buyer needs, is scannable, concise, and objective, and includes the messaging in both the written and visual elements. So if I were you, I would do for each page, I would put a screenshot and then I'd put a headline, buyer needs, and I would discuss the buyer needs. And then I'd put another headline, web writing, and I would discuss scannability, conciseness, and objectivity. And then I'd put another headline, messaging, and then I'd discuss the written messaging and the visual elements. That's my suggestion, because that'll be really easy to read with the headlines. Now, some of you have sites that are a little bit larger. For example, if you have, there's a student who has a site that sells hunting gear, and there's a ton of hunting gear that her site needs to sell. For the final website, you do not have to make every single page. So for her, she's making one product page as an example of what a product page looks like. For her to take the hundreds of products that her company sells and put them on the website, it's really repetitive. And if I've seen one of your product pages, I get a sense of what you're trying to do with it. So if you have any questions about your website, you know, you're kind of in that same boat, you have a lot of products or you have 50 staff members you want to write about, you can just do one or two as an example. If you're not sure, please contact me. But same here with screenshots. If that student decided to go ahead and put 100 products on the page, I would not expect 100 screenshots. I would expect one product page screenshot, and then she would explain how that page is set up to meet the buyer needs, show good web writing, and include messaging. If you have any questions about this, please ask, because I would be glad to help you out. I want your website to be complete, to sort of, so I can click around and see what everything is supposed to be. But if you have really repetitive tasks, like you want to show bios for 50 staff members, you don't have to write bios for 50 staff members. You can just write bios for 2, and I can see what your page looks like. I want all of this to be in a Google Doc so that I can leave comments on it. And so just share the Google Doc with me. So just to review, the final report has 3 parts. A summary, which is new material you're writing. A design process, which is just showing me all of the assignments listed that you've done with changes, if you made changes. And then an evaluation portion, which is what's new, showing your site and explaining how each page does these 3 things. And I've put a note here at the bottom. Again, if anything has changed, this should be reflected here. So if you didn't use the colors on your mood board, don't put in a mood board with colors that you didn't use. Change the mood board to reflect the colors that you did use, and then explain why you used those colors. That's everything I want to talk about with the final report draft. The draft is due this Friday, and I'll leave plenty of feedback, and then you'll have the chance to change it, to make changes and improve it for final exam week. This will be due Friday, May 2nd at 5 p.m. The final version will be due then.